Hi, Cronies. I just wanted to give you a quick history of the Crone origin story. So this was me in my mid-40s before I hit perimenopause. Who even knew that was a thing? And I just had a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. Who hasn't? But that was before it's cool. That was 10 years ago. So, just saying. Anyway, I love this picture because I was riding high, man. Like so many women who get a diagnosis later in life, it had a really positive effect on me. And I felt anointed to crack on with my superpowers and just focus on those and give myself a bit of forgiveness for all the stuff I was shit at. But then, drum roll please, I heard about this terrible thing that was about to happen to me. And it was called menopause. Or actually, they decided to come up with a new name, perimenopause. Who even knew that was a thing? And I started noticing that I was getting more fearful again. And that really pissed me off because I'd spent all that money and time on starting to feel all right about myself. And we all know what happens when you get into the fear mode. Our amygdala fires. We experience that like limbic hijack of our prefrontal cortex. Obviously, that's the part of the brain that manages our impulse control, our emotional reactions, our ability to plan for the future. Our cortisol rises, our adrenaline races through our bodies so that we can all run away from this terrible threat called getting older. Which, when you think about what's going on in the world right now, we are actually pretty goddamn privileged to even get to older age. At the time I was experiencing symptoms, so this is like 6-7 years ago, there was actually very little information about it at the time. So me and loads of, what are we? Are we Gen Zers? X. Are we X? I think we're X. Anyway, our lot, those born in the 70s, early 70s, started to kick up a fuss about the fact there was no information about menopause anywhere. Davina got in on the act. She was very good at getting it into the conversation. But even that, even the information, we had to make people fearful about it, I think, because I don't think the work world and a lot of people didn't know what a massive impact it actually had on women's lives, with regards to leaving their jobs and shit like that. So I'm really glad that we all made a fuss about the fact there was nothing out there. Like I say, Davina was like, early out of the doors on this, and she did this documentary. A lot of you will have watched it, about menopause on Channel 4. It's quite a few years ago now, and she created this like board that she dragged around the UK, and it had a list of all these terrifying symptoms. I don't know if you can see on there. It's like your sex drive fades, your memory fails, you get all sweaty, blah 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 blah. Anyway, it was just fucking terrifying for me, quite frankly. And it was kind of adding to my fear. So I was like, I don't know if this is the right way for us to go. I think we need to start looking at something to make us feel a bit less afraid about it all. Because for me, like, I know there's loads of other creative, neurodiverse older women out there. If I don't get a good night's sleep, if I don't have a clear head, it means I can't work. And as a freelancer, if I can't work, I cannot pay my bills, which means like in 2 months I'm going to be homeless. Like, I live on my own, like many of us batshit crazies do. I mean that in the best possible way. So when I found out about menopause, I was like, shit, I'm going to be homeless. Do you know what I mean? If I can't sleep. So that spiral of fear sort of continued, really. And then at the same time, I mean, I think we forget this. The toxic messaging that we had from birth, from fairy tales about older women and the evils of older women getting old, heavens forbid. And there was all this awful social media stuff around. This was one example. How old is Sarah Jessica Parker? Fans can't get over viral images of grey-haired actresses. I mean, lest we forget, like 6 years ago, women were still dyeing their hair and being forced to dye their hair. And we were told, that as women in Western society, we're told we can do absolutely anything except look old, and I'm sure I don't need to spell out the bloody double standards of the male and the female narrative of getting older. We had that Sarah SJP versus, the George Clooney's 17 handsome silver foxes who get better with age and all that. It's like, oh, God. Then when you add to that the unique set of circumstances that my generation are finding themselves in midlife, we're having children later in life, women find themselves sandwiched, the sandwich generation, sandwiched between Act 2 and Act 3, where we're still both mother and crone. So a lot of women, not me, I chose not to have them. I'm child free as a choice. So thankfully I didn't have to deal with the mother bit in that way anyway. But so many women are still, have got children at home and who look like they're never going to be able to afford to leave home, which I feel sorry for younger generation for that. But also entering into crone world, often caring for older parents at the same time as holding down a fucking full-time job as well. Like most of us in our generation don't have financial security that our parents' generation, that our, the boomers had. So for many of us, the reality is we're going to have to keep working forever. Retirement is probably never going to be on the cards for us. Don't worry, this is the most depressing bit. It gets better. Trust me. So in response to this fear, 6 years ago, I think it was 6 years, nearly 6 years ago, I set up a Facebook group of a few mates entering perimenopause, and I called it Crone Club, as in the old crones. Bit tongue-in-cheek at the time. But the aim of the group was basically to collectively build a community that was based on fierce, radical acceptance of age rather than sort of going small and one of toxic fear. And I wanted us to, as a group of mates, really just to have fun reclaiming one of the most awful words for older women, the crone. The next reel covers about what the crone is. Now, 6 years on, the Facebook group's grown to over 900 members from all over the world, all sharing positive content about getting older as a woman. I set up a Substack, an e-magazine called Tits to the Wind, which pulls together a lot of the topics and conversations from the Facebook group. I have, in the last 2 years, set up a membership, Crone Club membership scheme. We're just launching a global one at the moment, which anyone in the world can join. Do sign up, women. Check it out, www.croneclub.org. It's just $5 to join the global membership. We have monthly online crone circles where you can share a topic or join in on other topics and connect with like-minded kick-ass women. You can promote your project from your corner of the world. We've also set up Crone Club Sheffield, which is in-person meetups on top of all the online stuff. We go naked swimming and things like that. It's really good fun. And we go out to other members' projects and exhibitions and support each other, go and see interesting films and plays and all sorts. So that's really cool. So check that out as well. So that's a quick summary of the origin story of Crone Club. Do check us out on by finding us on the Facebook group, or just Google croneclub.org and you'll find us on there. Cheers.